Can't hear you. We are live with Virtual TrickCon 4 and Mochi's
Woohoo!
butt.
Mochi's butt.
The
Always
star of the show.
around.
The star of the show. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday morning?
Doing great.
Great.
Yeah, I am Mr. Scotty Baker, and we are live with the ever effervescent Malissa Longo,
Hi.
the insatiable Rico E. Anderson,
Not so effervescent, but yeah.
and the marvelous, the talented, everyone knows him, everyone loves him, Thomas E. Supernut. He's in another dimension right now, still figuring out the quirks of
Still
technology. We can see him, but we can't hear him.
Yes.
Yes, we'll
He'll make it
figure
happen.
it out.
He'll make
We're it's 2023. We're making it happen. Please
Yeah.
bear with us. This is live television, folks. This is what happens.
We'll all
While-
learn how to be lip readers.
Right.
What
While
else
Tom
did it
is, you're muted. You have yourself muted. Here we go. Let's unmute you. Unmute. Let's see here. Hold on a second. You're unmuted on your side, Tom. We'll figure that out. But just a quick recap. I know usually every year we've been doing a great makeup demonstration with Tom, and kind of schedulings got crazy, and we couldn't squeeze one in. So now we were just can't unmute you. Their mic isn't connected. It says your mic's not connected. So I don't know, maybe try putting your headphones back on or something, what you were doing before. So we thought it would be fun just to pipe Tom in from his abode, and we could talk about the aliens makeup jobs that he's done, talk about our favorite and our least favorite makeups and things like that. Do you want to try hopping out, Tom, and then hopping back in? He's leaving. He's coming back, folks. We promise. He's coming back. So how are you doing, Rico?
I'm doing great, Scotty.
Yeah.
Really excited to do this again and to revisit this really cool thing that we did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Becoming a Klingon, and that was so much fun, and it was great being in the workshop of Tom and just seeing all his amazing stuff around the workshop, but being made into a Klingon, I always love getting behind the prosthetic,
Yeah.
it's so much fun. I love it.
Would you say that was the the most intense makeup job that you've ever undergone?
I'm gonna say yes, but I will say that when I did the Orville, playing Conklin Doctor was a pretty intense one too, but it was very different too, very different styles, and it just helped to expand my knowledge of different applications and stuff like that. I mean, we think of prosthetics and actors. Of course, we think of Doug Jones and all the wonderful work that he's done over the decades. But definitely having the opportunity to play in these fields and in different ways it's just a wheelhouse that I've loved so much over the years, and I look forward to playing more.
Great. Yeah.
Well, that was an impressive process to watch as a viewer. It was neat to see you go from Rico to this big Klingon warrior.
Yeah. Just like that too.
Just like that. Some blood wine, please.
Yes.
So do you,
the glory of the house.
As an actor, do you feel that when you're in a makeup like that it changes how you feel like you're more in character and stuff?
Oh yeah. It's just like the old adage of putting on a suit or putting on a dress. I don't wear a dress, but if I did,
wearing heels
or wearing heels,
it's a different physicality to all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it really helps to get you in the character. It really helps to it helps you to understand. And of course, if you know the character, like that always helps too. I mean, even if you don't know Klingons, it's still something about being in that makeup and of course wearing the outfit and just seeing what you look like in the mirror when all is said and done. You can't help but be like, oh yeah, I can't help but be badass about this and have the attitude of one, no matter what the level of Klingon is. So, in terms of if they're warrior or if they're, like on the promenade of DS9, they open up a restaurant, or when Worf was on trial, he's a lawyer. They're all still Klingons at the end of the day.
Right,
right.
Yeah,
but no, it's cool. It's awesome. I love being Klingons too. It's like
So
choice.
That wasn't your first time being a Klingon, though, right?
Right. So back in the 90s, Paramount had bought the amusement park chain that was Great America. And they called it used to be owned by the Marriott Corporation. So long story short, it was called Paramount's Great America. And what they did was they actually brought in people from the studios and from all of Paramount and from the various departments, from the makeup to wardrobe. And they brought in to teach us, how to put on the makeup.
Tom. We got audio.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hello.
Hey.
Woo! And
all right, stop talking, Rico. Tom's here.
Dang it! I was almost getting to the good part.
No one cares about your stories. Let's hear about Tom.
So you were joking that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
We can hear
All
you.
right.
So you were Klingon for Paramount? For Paramount amusement parks?
Yeah, they had brought in like the actual costumes. They brought in people from Paramount's makeup department to teach us how to apply all the makeup and stuff like that. And we had Ferengis, Vulcans, Klingons, Romulans, humans. And it was a lot of fun. And they brought in sets because this is around the time that Generations came out. And so they brought in sets from that, from the movies as well. And I was cast as a Klingon. So
nice, cool.
Yeah. And so it's not my first rodeo as a Klingon.
So this was the Paramount Parks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This lovely person who ran the makeup I think she was makeup. Anyway, so it's ages ago, but when they first started doing that, I guess Mike Westmore, my boss, said, well, go to Tom because he makes our colors and stuff. You could buy all the PAX paint, but my stuff isn't PAX paint. It's made with other stuff. But anyway, so the Klingon makeup that was on you is probably the stuff that I make. Which it's kind of weird.
Which was double the honor if that was the case, because man,
this is awesome.
And the thing about it was they didn't play when it came to that. It wasn't just put on a thing and put on some makeup to match it. And Klingon. No, we had to glue it. We had to put the makeup on. We had to blend it. Like we had to make it as authentic looking as possible for actors who were walking around the park and being those characters, but they took it very seriously. Like even our tutorials on how to be a Klingon, how to be a Vulcan, how to be Ferengi, part of our tutorials was actually watching episodes of like DS9 for the Ferengi, Next Gen for the Klingons, even the original series, and all this stuff. So that was cool. So Charlotte
asked, wait, Generations, how old is Rico? Everybody, Rico is 24 years old. You know that. He was a baby
vampire
Klingon at Paramount Parks.
Yeah.
He was the one in the stroller,
Yeah. We're vampire, us vampires, it's how we roll, we're 20. I'm 24 at vampire age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Tom, how's things going? Drinking your morning coffee.
Busy, can't complain.
Yeah, morning crackers.
Very blessed. Sorry, I grabbed this Girl Scout cookie, and it's vegan, and it's the I think they were released last year, and they're called Toasty Yay, and they're like French toast, and it's breakfast. So yeah,
there we go. Breakfast of champions.
They're really, really good. Support your local Girl Scouts. Anyway, well,
me at French
boy, last year was not fun, but this year has started off, really, really good. The Star Trek cruise that's happening next week. Now, are any of you going to be on it?
I am not. No.
Oh,
maybe some of.
All right, seriously, it would be so great to have you guys. So, you're going to be on the Star Trek cruise, and this year it's like all the Mexican ports and stuff like that. So we'll be at sea on Friday next week for 8 days. I'm going to be on a couple panels, and I'm going to be doing. I'm bringing Matt, my buddy Matt, along to do makeup, and we're going to be on stage doing Robert O'Reilly and Max's makeup as Klingons. It's interesting to see Max as a Klingon because it works. And I always get this, he's too short to be a Klingon. I'm like, Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country, one of my favorite films, in general, favorite films, not just Star Trek, but on Rua Pente, the guy who was running Rua Pente was, they based the character kind of off of Napoleon. And, they bring out the box so he could get up on the box. He was a short Klingon, and that's probably why he got delegated to run the penal colony. It's like, well, you're not really big enough to be a warrior, so we're just going to have you shipped off to Rua Pente. But, so that was an interesting thing. Of all
the Klingon makeups from TOS to Discovery, what's your favorite iteration from a makeup artist perspective? What's your favorite iteration of the Klingon?
Okay, so let's go back to Star Trek, the motion picture, when we see prosthetic Klingons. I was a kid. I was like an early teen, and I was like, that's insane. I was like, wow, those are Klingons. I'm like, how did that happen? They went from like, kind of Mongolian looking, to like this, evil, messed up teeth and the big spine. I love that one. I really love Mark Leonard as, the commander of the Katinga class. I believe it was Katinga battle cruiser, approaching V'ger, and the whole what is it? Let's shoot at it. It was typical Klingon from back then. But I love that. That was the introduction to the wardrobe too. I would say that because it was new to me. It was like, wow. At that point it was just guys like John Calicos and Michael Ansara, just in dark makeup with the facial hair and whatever, and then kind of the belt buckle made out of bubble wrap, like so I loved that because it changed everything. It was the genesis of the evolution of thank you of and so yeah, I think that was my favorite. And then Star Trek 6 rolled around, and I knew all the guys doing makeup on it. I knew the production manager who wanted to get me on it, but I wasn't quite in the union at the time. So it was a bummer. It would have been great to have been on that. But I loved what Richard Snell designed. He designed stuff for Star Trek 5. Everyone's favorite movie. Anyway, I'm so gonna get canceled right now. But The Klingons had a lot of thought behind them. When Richard was designing the different Klingons, he designed like the hair and to fit kind of like Japanese feudal era, and it was really styled. It wasn't like the big rock and roll crazy hair that Five ended up with. And then there was all these hair ornaments. We see it in Star Trek VI. He was a stickler for detail, like as it were Gorkon's daughter. All the little hair ornaments were like these Japanese hair ornaments that were like poison, like stabbers. They were like the hat pins of the Victorian times. And everything was a weapon. All the different like ornamentation could be used as a weapon or whatever. And as you know from that Next Gen episode where the Klingons were in the brig, they start taking apart their armor and popped off the horn off their boot, and they turned it into a nice little disruptor. It makes sense. This is what the Klingons are about, right? So anyway, the Klingons on 6 I loved them because we got to realize Richard Snell's vision for them, down to Christopher Plummer's eye patch. I may have spoke about this when I was doing your makeup, Rico, but the eye patch, now that you can zoom in and really get clear shots of it, I don't think I've ever seen a publicity shot of it, but the eye patch, the bolts in it actually have the Klingon emblem.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean there's so much detail.
Wow.
And I think it's common knowledge, is it, that the Klingons were styled after historical Earth historical people, like Abraham Lincoln for Gorkon, and like I was saying, Napoleon for the guy from Ropente. I can't remember everyone, but they were designed after specific, Earth historical figures.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, cool.
So
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. I thought that was common knowledge.
Insider knowledge, breaking news right here.
That's right.
So then when you first then when you got into doing the makeup and you were doing Klingon stuff, how much was like you're looking at like that first like motion picture and going, I want to like lean into that, or you had this very strict, like Michael Westmore said, this is what it needs to look like, and I want you to match what I'm doing?
Mike was just great. He's like, these are the foreheads. We didn't really have any of the foreheads from the movies or anything like that. We had all Next Gen stuff and everything that Mike stuff, and but the Klingons pretty much have stayed kind of the same colorized, the coloring, the the eyebrows, the stash, which is very specific.
Mm-hmm.
Mike's like it goes this way, not that way. Like a normal mustache growth, you'd have it. This is kicked up on an angle. We talked about that, I think, with you, Rico. Actually,
we did. Yeah,
I made it to the cut, but it was fun. And Mike knew how much I loved Klingons and how much I was into the Klingon thing, and I even knew a little Klingonese back then. But I remember, growing my facial hair and doing things like, it's not curled right now. I didn't have time to curl it, but I split my goat here and I would curl it. Or one time, I let this grow really long and I braided this, and I came into Mike and I'm like, can we do stuff? He's like, I love that. And I'm like kind of testing all these different things on myself. And so, yeah, he was very open about kind of making them a little more, warrior looking and stuff, like with braids and things. I wish we would have had more of that Richard Snell influence with the hair, where, they had weapons, and anytime we saw a female Klingon, we should have had, some kind of, hair ornament weapon or something. It would have been great to explore that, because they're a warrior race, and we're talking millennia after millennia of, honing their craft as warriors. And so, yeah, you would think that they would have played a little bit more on that. And, but no, sadly, no. but yeah, it was interesting. On Star Trek 6, we also had the albino Klingon, which finally now on Blu-ray you can see him. They've added that scene back during the trial with Kirk and Bones, and he was the judge with that metal ball with the sparks when he would like, oh, you know, and the guy who was doing it, I can't remember the actor's name. He was really good. His voice and everything. But Margaret Prentice did the makeup, and from what I understand, and amazing artist. She did the Beauty and the Beast makeup on Ron Perlman.
What?
For Rick Baker.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Margaret did this beautiful makeup. They had, you know, like the albino kind of pink eye, you know, eyes going on with contact lenses, and he was pale and white hair. And it's sad because like on the theatrical release, you see him, and then finally years later on DVD and Blu-ray, it's like you get to see this beautiful makeup and this really odd Klingon. I love the idea of doing that because all species, as we know on this planet, have like albinism and stuff like that. So it would have been really cool to have seen, you know, an albino Klingon. So,
you know, one of the things that I want to say about the different types of Klingons that you mentioned, this has always been part of my argument, and this could be a whole other panel, but I've always felt like, you know, just like on planet Earth, we all look different in some way, shape, or form. So why is there such a huge argument that you have like Discovery Klingons, which don't look like next gen Klingons, but then at first original series Klingons didn't look like next gen Klingons, which pretty much were you know, coming from motion picture Klingons. It's nothing new, and on planet Earth humans look different, so why wouldn't Klingons look different? And even with, like, say, the Romulans, you know, in Next Gen, you added the ridges to the forehead, and when we discover in like Picard, you have the Northerners and the Southerners. So
right,
you know,
they were kind of touching on that with the Andorians, you know, some living above ground. It was all dependent on climate, so why wouldn't it be the same with the Klingons?
Well, you know, I always thought, you know, once again, going way back to motion picture, and all of a sudden these are Klingons. It's like, whoa. But why were the Klingons, you know, in the original series just dark-skinned guys with like, you know, facial hair and you know, bubble wrap belt buckles, budget but in my brain universe trying to figure out, I thought, well, the Klingon Empire, it's not just Kronos, it's a bunch of planets, you know, it's a bunch of colonies, and what happened on Earth with colonies, you know, that's why I have a French last name. You know, it's like, you know, people bred with whatever, you know, that they, you know, conquered or colonized, what have you. And so I'm thinking in my brain, the logical explanation would be they spread out, they conquered planets, they colonized, formed their vast empire, and then, okay, so boom, boom, boom. You get some people with big ridges, some people with, you know, little ridges, some people with no ridges, you know, and and that to me is
lighter
the most
skin and darker skin.
Blue.
I was gonna say, you know, some people lighter skin, some people darker skin, some people, you know, more hair, less hair, you know, all that kind of stuff. So what are some so throughout all of like Star Trek, what are some of like your favorite like aliens, as far as like from a makeup artist perspective, like you look at those and you say like, okay, that's cool, I like that guy.
Back to Star Trek 5. I love, well, actually in Star Trek 4 and 5, there were, you know, the Catians. I'm pronouncing it wrong. I never pronounce it right. The cat aliens, because those who know me know that I'm a big cat fan, and I just thought well, that's, I would totally hang out with them. And then they were on the animated series too.
Yeah.
Let's go back to my childhood, because that's where Star Trek all started for me, is watching reruns and like the late 60s, early 70s, what have you. Gorn, I love the Gorn, and I don't like the way they do Gorns. It's like, I just wish we'd have a really good, like, The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. You have Trandoshans, and they totally are Trandoshans, and their faces move, and they've got the bigger snout. Do a Gorn like that. Why is it that they can do it and Trek can't get on board for that? And I'm so gonna get canceled right now. But I loved the Gorn. I loved the Gorn in a toga picking up rocks, at Vasquez rocks and throwing them, and that voice, that hissy voice. And that's weird, because on Doctor Who, I love the Ice Warriors, who are the real original Martians, because they have that voice. There's something about that creepy voice. I don't know. I just, hissy. I like reptiles. Anyway, but
how about you, Melissa? What's your favorite alien from the Star Trek, as far as makeup jobs and stuff goes?
As far as makeup jobs, I'm going to, as far as makeup jobs, the really impressive one was the one you did on Tracy Coco, or that was on Tracy Coco, that she had the split tongue, and it was just this.
Oh, on Voyager.
Yeah,
that was great.
It was pretty neat looking. I was pretty impressed with that. And then making her into a Cardassian was pretty amazing too. That was pretty amazing to watch.
She's a beautiful Cardassian.
Yes, she is.
She's like a Kardashian.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share something with you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not.
Well, we can see it. Here, let me
Starfleet Medical Reference Manual. Okay.
Yes.
It soloed me, not you. Let's see. Go back to that. All right. Starfleet Reference Manual. Oh, cool. Okay.
Does anyone have this? Okay. This is one of my favorite things. There's Hippocratic Oath. Let's see, introduction. Let's see, table of contents. Then it goes into all the different eras, prehistoric, ancient, Middle Ages. Let's see. This is presented so actual. Atomic Age, Second Renaissance, expansion. And this is like the Star Trek timeline. Earth's timeline. And then you go in here and there's
one Trek fan says she's got that reference manual, so she's got it open and she's following along.
Okay, and then it goes on to cell mutation, and then drugs. It talks about all the different drugs and stuff. Adrenaline. Let's see.
Wow.
People who don't think. Then it talks about the different diseases and stuff. PSI 2000 virus, Omega 4 virus,
COVID-19. What?
It was prophetic.
I don't know.
Oh,
you see that?
Yeah.
The anatomy, the Andorian anatomy, and it talks about average height and weight, and there we go with sexy ass Gorn. Anyway,
nice.
There's still hope for the Gorn, because we've only seen baby Gorn in Strange New Worlds, so there's still hope to see a good grown-up Gorn.
And don't get me wrong, I do love Strange New Worlds. Okay, so, and there's Rico. You have two hearts like a Time Lord.
Yeah, and look at that! Look at that ass! Look at that ass!
Yeah.
That's an ass. I don't like to.
Oh, Tellurite.
Look at that.
Wow.
So speaking of odd aliens, Tellurite, I never really liked them. Early on, like the makeup, it was the 60s. It was 1966, 67. They were uncomfortable. I don't know. And I don't want to sound like an alien racist, but it's like, they just seem like they're not nice people. It's just, have you noticed how some alien races just are not, it's kind of like in the Star Wars realm where you have all these different races who have become Jedi and stuff like that. But then you have some that just seem like jerks, and they just continue like the Pikes. Yeah, not tolerable. Oh, here's the brain size. Here's the brain size.
I think Ryan is a fan of Tellurites.
Yeah.
Tellurites
are hot.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's a piggy bastard. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I don't even know where to go with that one, Ryan. Anyway, I should do a Tellurite makeup on Ryan. The next time we do this,
yes,
we're gonna strap him to the chair and ball gag him, and then I'll do the makeup around.
You don't even need to do anything else after that. He'll, that'll be
played a Tellurite before.
Huh?
Yeah.
Pardon?
I'm pretty sure Ryan's played a Tellurite before.
He has
in one of the like fan films, I think.
STC. Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Rico? What's some of your favorite aliens?
Well, Klingons, of course, love them. I actually like the Ferengis a lot because it seemed like that makeup was it seemed very reminiscent of how I had to wear my Orville makeup, where it seemed like this. I could be wrong, but it seemed like it was one big, like, put over your face, glue it in, blend in makeup type thing. I don't know if it was like separate ones.
Well, from what Aaron told me, there was the helmet part that went over the head, but then there was the separate pieces. Like he had a nose, and then he had cheek prosthetics.
Okay, so it's like a 3-parter or so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that was very similar to that. It for like Orville, it was very like headpiece and like a couple of other things. But yeah, I've always liked that makeup, and I always thought it was just very artistically beautiful.
So there's
probably enough.
There's actually me doing the makeup years ago. From Entertainment Tonight, there's that clip. If you search me or whatever, I'm sorry, I don't have the link. I could shoot it to you, but Melissa, you'll like it. It's Leanza Coronet, and Armin's there. He comes in, and I was like on Entertainment Tonight years ago. It was hilarious, but I was sicker than hell. But Mike's like, please come in, so I did anyway. But yeah, in general, most Ferengi were, the cowl, and then the cheeks, and then the nose. And with Armin, he had like one piece. I think Max had one piece too. It was like this, we called it the bat, the bat prosthetic, because it looked like a bat. It went like this.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, so I just, place that up. Yeah. Now, what the Ferengi were supposed to look like, Rico, right?
No. Like originally?
I don't know if you can see this. Let's see, where camera. Why is it? Hello. Can you?
Oh,
there.
Left. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They were a little more evil looking.
Right.
Yeah, the pointier ears. They were kind of like bats.
Yeah.
Can you scooch it over to the left just a little bit, Tom? There you go.
There you go.
There?
That's good.
Yeah. That's a good. Wow.
Okay, so were they supposed to be like patterned after what? Like,
I don't know. I think they were very bat-like. I mean, that's and the thing about the Ferengi, they were supposed to be the new Klingons,
right?
And they were and it's funny how it just didn't go that way.
Yeah. I guess the field test was next gen, you know, when they came in all
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
really,
and then they have
formed yet.
They have those. I do like their energy whips. That was kind of neat.
Yes.
Those blue energy, you know, that sounded horrible and painful.
And we never saw
another book.
I don't think.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, Packled.
He's so goofy looking.
Packled on cover.
Red Alarm.
Makeup Effects Journal. Nice.
Yeah,
this was, and then you can see my boss down there.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Mike Westmore. Many props to Mike Westmore. You know, we were having fun and talking and stuff, but I got to say, it was wonderful that, you know, Mike even hired me. I blessed and fortunate to have been able to, you know, grow up with Star Trek and be on the show as a young adult. Yeah, it was. You know, I think a lot of people aren't grateful, you know, and I'm totally grateful for it because, you know, it's afforded me, you know, a chance to like kind of live out like my childhood fantasy of being on the Enterprise and you know, just hanging out with Klingons and whatever. I mean, there was this giddy kid inside, like when no one was looking. You know, I think I've talked about this previously. It's like I would walk around like on the promenade, kind of doing this, or like on the sets doing this to block out that all that is open up there and there's lights and stuff. And like when no one was around, I'd be like, you know, doing the droning sound of the engines of the craft that I was on. And, you know, and I'd go up to panels and, you know, stand on the transporter pad and, you know, say when to beam down. You know, I enjoyed it. I mean, for me, I got paid to do something that was like, imagine being paid to go to like your favorite amusement park and day after day. You know, it was amazing. I mean, yeah, it was work. And there were some days that were hard. And there were sometimes, you know, you were working with people who were less than fun. And, you know, but the idea that, you know, this was part of my life journey and that I was allowed to do that. You know, I'm totally grateful for my career in general, because I'm very fortunate and it, you know, it's odd because I see other people who are very talented and stuff like that who didn't have the same opportunities and stuff. So anyway, that big shout out to Mike Westmore for having me on board for about 10 years out of my life. And yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Well, enough with all that positivity. What is your least favorite alien, like makeup perspective? You're like, man, they really just dropped the ball on that one.
Right.
Like, they could have done so much better. There's like one that like sticks in your craw, and you're like, man.
Oh God. Well, see, I don't think it's fair to kind of like put TOS on because budget. It was the '60s. You know, we didn't have that
early days of all that kind of stuff. They were like pioneers in so much of that stuff, right?
You know, motion picture. Once again, you know, the original makeup artist from the original series was department heading and designing stuff. There were some odd aliens. What's it? And a lot of them were just pullover masks and stuff. But like the Andorians were really odd, and like there was, you know, like a definite color shift from like the prosthetic to the face, and it was noticeable. It was like 2 different tones of blue. But gosh, let me think of something that really.
I think just like to me in general, you know, there's the like hundreds of sort of like kind of walk-on aliens where they'd be like, oh, just slap something on their forehead and call it an alien, you know, like
yeah.
My favorite of that is like DS9 when they find the little Jem Hadar baby.
Yeah,
like,
I was thinking let's
just put a little thing on his forehead.
Oh,
and he's an alien, you know.
Well, I mean, it you know, it explains how they mutate. You know, they mutate into the, you know, big iguana guys. I was on that episode. Yeah. And I remember we had the babies. We had 2 babies, and the little foam piece had to be glued with KY jelly, because KY jelly dries out and works like an adhesive. And it was safe to put on infants. It's KY jelly. I mean, we do that for like, birthing scenes and stuff.
I always wanted that, because I think like even in Voyager, like with when like Naomi Wildman,
the girl with the horns.
Yeah. Like, what do you use on babies? You know, it's like you got to be
like
careful.
infants. Yeah, we used KY.
That's why Scotty's not
super glue.
Because they're always moving around. You don't want them to fall off. So
they'll be fine. They have years to get them.
Yeah.
Scars.
Yeah, surprisingly, that held on really well. And then we did some water-based makeup. We pre-painted the foam, put it down, and then blended it out with a little stipple of water-based makeup. And then age 5, I think it was age 5, I had this little kid come in to be, at that stage, and he was showing much more. We had a little tiny forehead piece, and the cutest little kid. And it's so tolerant. Like, there are people on the show, like grown men and stunt people and stuff like that, who, they're like, oh, it's cold. Why is it cold? Oh, it smells, And this kid's like, this is cool. And I mean, he was so down to be this, baby Jimadar. But and then we had the teenager, and somebody, I think we were doing the makeup on these 2 kids at the same time. So somebody was doing the teenager's makeup, I think, so we could just shoot them out and get it done. And then there was like the young adult, and gosh, so many years ago, a part of me wants to say I did the young adult one too, but I can't swear to it. Gosh, it's been forever. But gosh, I'm trying to think some aliens that.
Were you on the episode with the Cardassian baby? The Cardassian Bajoran baby?
No, I don't know if I was or not. I've done like Cardassian children, which once again, you've got real children actors and stuff like that. But the young lady who I did the Cardassian makeup on, she was actually a very small and looked much younger than she was. She was like, I think she was like 20 or something like that, but she looked like she was like 12. And so she was playing a young Cardassian. Now, I don't know if that was the same episode or not. Okay, here's one. Okay, makeup. Sorry. Let me go get that.
That's the cat? I think that might have been the cat.
Well, we're getting we got a little over 15 minutes left. So if you guys have questions for Tom, ask some questions for Tom. This might be your only opportunity to
really quick, the one that stuck in my crop, the original Cardassians, there was like facial hair, and I never understood the slick back hair. I mean, the women look great with, their elaborate hairstyles, but I'd like to see some like full head, with the ridges going back, because they're kind of reptile-y. I wouldn't think that they would have hair. Does that make sense? It's almost like armor, like an armadillo or something like that,
Yeah.
And armadillos have like sparse, spiky stuff, but not like a full head of hair. They're not luxurious.
Yeah, you're mentioning the Kardashians having Kardashians. Good Lord, the Kardashians, and maybe the Kardashians too, having hair at first. You're talking about Next Gen, right? When they first.
Yeah, Next Gen. It was Mark Alamo. I can actually pull that up. He had this weird.
Oh
yeah!
Can you see it?
Yeah, it was.
What the hell?
Like mutton chops or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a foo, but it's not a foo. I don't know, but yeah, yeah. Other than that,
yeah. Kimber Spores asks, "What actor would you want to work with?"
Kimber.
Living or dead? Because like that's the question. Because there was a lot of actors who are no longer with us. I would have loved to work with Boris Karloff. I think Karloff, Lugosi, like a lot of old time actors that because they were just so good. And some of them really cared about their makeup people.
Boris Karloff was a legend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he really cared about Jack Pierce and actors now. Who?
Anybody has like great facial structure that you like? I want to do something with that face.
I love Tom Ellis from England. I've loved him forever. I think he would be a lovely person to spend 12, 14 hours a day with on a show. I'm on a show right now. I'm going to plug it. It's called First Moon, and we shoot in May in Australia. I'm also going to be in Australia at the end of the month at Supernova in Brisbane, I believe, or Brisbane for Americans. And I will be doing a Klingon makeup. Wish you were there, Rico. Doing a Klingon makeup on some lucky person in the audience. So that will be interesting. And then signing autographs. But I'm, like I said, I'm currently on a film right now with Lauren Esposito, and she was in like The Conjuring and stuff like that. And she's a joy to work with. I say that now.
She seemed really lovely.
Yeah, considering all the crap that we put her through already. I mean, we've had a body caster and life caster and arm caster and poor baby.
Yeah, I was there for the arms, and she seemed really like, "Hey, go, let's do this," and a great attitude, and wasn't whiny or a diva about anything.
Yeah, it's been a learning experience for her too, because she had. A lot of actors, they never wore prosthetics, have no idea how it's done, and she's been great about it because she's looking at it as an adventure, and it's not that terrible. It's just odd, having your arm in a bucket of goo until it solidifies, and then trying to pull it back out.
Well, we had talked about getting Malissa in the makeup chair and doing something with that lovely face.
Yeah, we need to figure out who or what so we could, go big.
People, put in the chat. What do you think Malissa should be? Let's solve this mystery right now.
This is going to sound horrible, but like original series, T. Pring, like Spock's. Is it T? T. Pring. That was his wife, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it T. Powell? T. Powell.
T.
Pring.
No.
T. Payne.
T. Pring. Okay, because and she had like something. I would love to go retro Vulcan. With the big crazy hair and the braids and the silver eyeshadow, and I mean that would be kind of awesome because we never see that. Like when that kind of got on my nerves. Like when we saw female Romulans on Next Gen and throughout, the Westmore years, and even today, we don't see those beautiful, those really beautiful hairstyles and ornate hairstyles and stuff like that. It's like it's all military looking, and all the women have like the bowl cut and stuff. And I'm like, come on. Romulan women, they express themselves, and same with Vulcan women. I mean, and I know times change and styles change and whatever, but I would like to see more. I mean, especially Vulcans, they're all very formal about everything. I'm sure they can't even, go to the restroom without making a big deal about it. They're very, ceremonious, on their planet, you know. So
you gotta work short. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Welcome
Well, Faith says that she wants Malissa to officially join the Ferengi family and don some ears.
Well, we could do that as well.
Because being married to a Ferengi isn't enough.
Hey, you know what? Even a Klingon.
Yeah. But you know, like isn't the Ferengis, women aren't allowed to wear clothes in public, so that would be kind of awkward.
That was pre-Rom Negus.
Okay, okay. We do a post-Rom Negus.
Post-Rom Negus.
I'm having some.
Go the Moogie route and speak against it, and
Yeah.
No. Not in this house.
Tom has frozen up.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to us, Tom.
There he is.
He's
you
back.
Froze, buddy.
But you're back.
Okay, I was having some weird audio something going on.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, yeah. For a while, it sounded like a Casio, like do 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 do. I don't know. But yeah, it was weird. All right.
Wow.
So
we just got a few minutes left.
Okay.
Before we get kicked off here, where can people find you, Tom? On the interwebs.
Oh, there it goes weird again.
Oh, beep, boop, beep,
Are you
beep,
there?
boop, beep, boop,
We can hear you.
beep, boop, beep, boop.
Okay, it sounds like R2D2. Okay.
So I say before we sign
hear
off,
me?
like, yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Can you hear us?
It's weird, like R2D2 voice.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Oh boy, yeah,
We'll put links in the thing,
weird. I can't understand what you're saying.
Well, hopefully we haven't completely lost Tom. But where can people find you, Rico?
I am Rico Anderson on Instagram. And Twitter.
And Twitter. Great. Maybe we lost
and
Tom.
RicoAnderson.com. Yes.
Sweet. And you're in currently what show can people see you in?
So I'm on the TV show Truth Be Told. It's on Apple TV Plus. And we're in our third season. Episode 5 just dropped, and really excited about that. Doing well. I've also just had an episode of FBI International that dropped, and check that out. It's episode 9, season 2, called Wheelman. Really fun ride.
Ooh, fun. Yeah. Ooh. Cool. Are you back with us, Tom?
Hey, I think so.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
All right.
I was just saying, like where can people find you on the interwebs?
Oh, I'm on Instagram. I'm not much on Facebook. I'm on Twitter.
On Instagram. What's your Instagram?
It's my name, Thomas Surprenant. And you'll see it, the photo, because there's a couple of me, because I accidentally created more accounts, and I don't ask. But I got hacked a while ago, and it was a nightmare to get my account back. But it's literally a profile picture of me with like Prada sunglasses, and
fancy.
Yeah, it's so and I'm in a lift in New York with my friend Jillian, actually, and it looks like a scene from a movie. I just held the camera and did this weird photo, and I liked it. So, so that's me on Instagram. You could check my IMDb. Right now, once again, the Star Trek cruise. If you go to the Star Trek cruise, and it will say like 2023, and click on it, open it up, and it will say the experience and this and that. Then it will say the crew. Click on the crew. Scroll past all those actors, because we have joking, and then it goes down to Starfleet advisors, and there's a bunch of us. Muhammad's going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah. All right.
Woo,
maybe you can do it.
And so yeah, we'll have to shoot a little video for you guys.
Get Muhammad in the makeup.
What?
Get Muhammad in the makeup.
Oh gosh. I'll see if I could. Yeah, you know what? I think he would make a great like Vulcan dignitary. Like he just would. He totally could, play it off. And, once again, they need to have like elements of the original series where the Vulcans were so ornate and formal. I mean, it's kind of like the royal family kind of thing. It's like everything's a thing with them. And I think that's one of my things is that sometimes I'll, oh, hey, you're there. Oh, yeah. All right. We have to do like Vulcan dignitary on you. So, yeah, so you just, you can click on and see a little bit about me on that. But in fact, we have Phil and Wendy, my Andorians from the Star Trek cruise last year, who are watching the show right now. So, yeah. And I'll be sending this out to more people to watch. I didn't have time to get it out to everyone because I've been, juggling and busy.
Being a successful Emmy Award-winning makeup artist.
Yeah. I'm literally living the dream. I hate saying that, but yeah, being on a werewolf movie, which has been a childhood dream. It's weird. You stick with it, and I don't know what else to say. It just, it's a weird journey. Just stick with it.
Yeah, well, we're like super happy for you that you've been able to do all these amazing things and that you've stayed the amazing person that you are and haven't gotten all cynical and bitter and everything like that. And to like knowing you and having worked with you on projects and everything like that. And it's really been amazing to see your journey and to be a part of that, and that you're so welcoming with like the Star Trek like family as far as the fans and everything like that. It's really amazing. So
Star Trek fans are the reason Star Trek exists. The original series ran 3 seasons. And it was the fans who were like, we want this back, it's syndicated, it's like, and back then, you didn't get syndication unless you did like a full 7 seasons, and it was very rare. The fans just kept pestering, and Paramount's like, "What the hell's up with?" Because once again, Paramount, Gene Roddenberry, Paramount has an issue with Star Trek, and we all know it. It's not really a secret, but Star Trek has successfully saved Paramount's skin a few times. It is a huge worldwide phenomenon. And also the early televised, shows, those are being beamed out into space. Anything that was, televised, so it's actually traveling in space. And I almost kirked out. It's traveling through space. I don't want to channel that. But, it's interesting that this Gene Roddenberry's original beautiful idea for a utopian future, and us getting our shit together and all that stuff, it's being beamed out. And if there are alien, which there are, but if they're interested in picking up and looking at this, going, wow, this is like the cream of the crop of humanity. And I love that idea. It's not like, some of the other stuff they might be getting going, ooh, let's not contact them. They're idiots, But like Star Trek is such hope, and it's the best of humanity, and that's and people get it. And that's why that's a beautiful message, and we'll have to part on there. We just got seconds left. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you guys for having me on panel. Thanks for having us, Tom. Pretty link below for the next panel. Oh, it is in the makeup, and don't forget to see the lappies. I know that for now. All right. See ya. Bye.